Eva Spexarth, and this is my term paper synopsis on the invention of Bitcoin. In a chaotic financial period, someone was inspired to make a change. Although no one knows for sure who exactly Satoshi Nakamoto is, people of all ages know of the impact he made on society. People everywhere were looking for a way to safely control their own money, so Satoshi did something about it. He created Bitcoin. With a strong plan in mind, Satoshi Nakamoto began his Bitcoin project to solve a common problem. True to the promise he made when he originally designed Bitcoin, it can be mined by anyone. Although unlike other currencies in most aspects, Bitcoin too has had its fair share of problems and trials. Against all odds, Bitcoin has developed considerably over time. Being a successfully decentralized currency, Bitcoin has positively impacted the world. The effects that Bitcoin has had on the world is remarkable. Bitcoin is an invention that was created to solve a problem. As a result of the financial crisis in 2008, Bitcoin was made with the intention of forming a way to carry out transactions without a third party's involvement. Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's unknown inventor, believed that something other than hard cash could be used for online transactions, hopefully something which could help people to maintain the control of their money. Tirelessly, he strove to find something like person-to-person cash transactions for the internet. The main thing he wanted to implement was vetoing any need for trust or confidence in a third-person party such as the government to handle their money for them. With Bitcoin, no bank or processing is required, making transacting with it quick, easy, and unlike credit cards, which require several security checks on both sides. Mainly because of this, Bitcoin is a cheaper transaction. The period during which Bitcoin was invented greatly impacted the effect it had on the world. Bitcoin mining takes a variety of different supplies and actions. Originally, Bitcoin could be mined by anybody on any regular computer processors or CPUs. This made it more decentralized and thus brought truth to Satoshi's word that anyone could mine it. Mining started with using CPUs to hash, which is the act of transforming a very difficult key of characters into another value. The hashes validate available Bitcoin and provide a mining reward. As more people began using Bitcoin, the puzzles that had to be solved became harder. Now, crypto miners use specialized and high-energy computers, also known as nodes, to solve the puzzles. These high-tech computers utilize trial and error, guessing repeatedly until they find a solution. For Bitcoin miners, purchasing one of these computers is well worth the money, especially because each Bitcoin is currently worth a little over $46,000. Mining Bitcoin is harder than it once was. Bitcoin, like every other currency, has experienced its own problems and trials. When it comes to creating digital currency, the double spending problem, which is the double use of digital money, is one of the biggest setbacks. Bitcoin prevents double spending with a decentralized public ledger of all Bitcoin transactions known as the blockchain, which makes it computationally infeasible for anyone to manipulate the Bitcoin system. Although several security measures are and can be put in place by Bitcoin owners, many people have lost their Bitcoin by forgetting passwords or even accidentally deleting their wallets. To help with this, fly-by-night online wallet services then launched with an assured promise to safeguard clients' digital assets. Unfortunately, these are not safe, as they are internet storefronts run by who knows who from who knows where. In May of 2010, on BitcoinTalk.org, an early Bitcoin miner known as Laszlo Hanieks exchanged 10,000 Bitcoin, then worth $0.0041 apiece, for 2 Papa John's pizzas. Today, that much Bitcoin would be worth over $460 million. As the price of Bitcoin started to escalate, disturbing events began occurring beginning in mid-June of 2011 with the appearance of a person calling himself All in Vain. He came out and revealed that 25,000 Bitcoins worth more than $500,000 had been stolen from his computer. Hardly a week later, Mt. Gox, which is the Bitcoin exchange site based in Tokyo that handles 90% of all Bitcoin transactions, was hacked. The clever hacker then simulated a massive sell-off which drove the exchange rates to zero and let him withdraw potentially tens of thousands of other people's Bitcoins. Because Bitcoin is money and with money comes problems, Bitcoin has had and is not without its setbacks. Bitcoin's development has come a long way. In 2008, an unknown person or persons under the surname Satoshi Nakamoto released a link to a white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system on a cryptography mailing list. Satoshi would make posts on various Bitcoin.org forums and express frustration with how online transactions were conducted and how lackadaisical people were when dealing with their online privacy. Satoshi felt that an alternative method was needed. When Bitcoin was still young in 2009, the network required little computation. Only a common CPU and an everyday laptop was needed to mine Bitcoin. As Bitcoin became harder to mine, several things, including graphics processing units, field programmable gate arrays, and ASIC miners, also known as application-specific integrated circuits, were invented solely for the purpose of mining Bitcoin. In modern times, to mine Bitcoin, one will need the following items: at least one specialized computer, an ASIC miner, that is designed to compete for and support a particular cryptocurrency, a reliable and as inexpensive as possible energy supply, a dependable internet connection, and a cooling infrastructure. The development of Bitcoin and its mining is astounding. The invention of a cryptocurrency that people can actually trust was a significant breakthrough in the minds of many. Because Satoshi Nakamoto wasn't afraid to share his ideas with the world, Bitcoin went from just an idea to reality. It needed to be made so that people could take back control of their own money. To mine Bitcoin, several items are needed, but they are easily acquired. Bitcoin's system is certainly easy to comprehend. In fact, Satoshi Nakamoto famously said, quote, "I'm better with code than words though. If you don't believe it or don't get it, I don't have time to try to convince you. Sorry." End quote. Granted, Bitcoin has had its challenges, but this successful cryptocurrency has always managed to stay on its feet. As a result of several years of development, Bitcoin has become the world's most popular cryptocurrency. By its accomplishments, Bitcoin has set the standard for what a cryptocurrency should be. When the renowned inventor of Bitcoin dies, he or she can leave the world knowing that they did something most wouldn't and couldn't even dream of doing. Despite the fact that the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is unknown, in the eyes of many, he will always be considered a hero. Bitcoin is an amazing invention that has helped people around the world to safely transact with their money online.